To make history 2 times over in one night, just my head, like there are brains on the wall because my head has exploded a billion times over. It's no secret, like I am relatively new to the fan base. I watched last season and got excited about it. And then I started watching back as I was going through the recruitment process to get in the show. And in becoming a big fan, I was so nervous that I would make bad or stupid game moves, or I would say the wrong thing or say something about a player that they did or did not do. I just wanted to be very respectful of this fan base coming into it, because I know these Big Brother fans, they're a little ruthless and very protective of the brand. So coming in as a pageant girl, as a beauty queen, as someone who can very easily be painted as someone who does not take this game seriously, I just knew when the headshots were released that I'd be someone that was like, get her out of here. She just wants to be an Instagram influencer. We don't want her. So knowing that the fans would be so invested in my journey in this game, it doesn't feel real to me, because I never, ever thought that I would earn the respect of the fan base as well. It is the exact goal that I had coming into this entire game. It is mind-boggling that I even pulled it off, considering where I was on the first week and second week. And we can go on week to week of how many times I sat on the eviction night block. But I watched a lot of seasons in preparation coming into this game. And the last season that I watched coming in was season 3. And I saw Danielle and the win that she should have had get taken away from her. And that just gave me the extra fuel that I needed to never let go of why in this game. And there were so many times where it would have been very easy for me to step away from this game. I think everybody can understand that. But my purpose for coming to this game was so much bigger than just Taylor Hale playing. It was so much bigger than just trying to make a name for myself. There was a bigger moment for me that I knew that I had to fulfill. And somehow I ended up pulling it off. So I just want future Big Brother players to know that, Black women Big Brother players to know that they can come into the game and they don't have to be painted or bullied or harassed or painted as a villain. They can just be themselves. Devon, her first season, what was it? She was evicted week 3 because people were talking about her the first week. She was counting things in the house. Like, why is it that people who look like me playing this game are immediately villainized, immediately looked out with shadows of doubt, when there are so many other players who have played more mischievous and malicious games? So even, oh God, what was the girl's name? Kemi, even though she was talking about, I was a high school bully, she still got it. So I just want there to be freedom for us to exist. And if I had to be the one that bared a lot of the burden so we could prove the point, then so be it. It paid off. And now there should be freedom for the rest of us in the future. You know, I love giving a good speech in this house, but I truly felt like I did not have an argument coming into the finale. And I just knew that if I could get there, the only thing I had was talking about my experience in this house. And that was going through the fire of verbal harassment and being unfairly pinned for serious things that are impacting people's lives. And all I knew that I could do is point out, yes, I have won competitions, and that is one way to win this game. But there's so much more that is happening in this game. I know Indy is a massive Big Brother Brazil fan, and she talks all about how the game can be bigger. We can make a better game. So that, even though she and I are on opposing sides, it still resonated with me, because I want people to look at this and think, okay, Big Brother is a microcosm of the real world. How are we impacting people in this game? Yes, you have to win things and be really competitive, but we're still people. So when it came to my speech, it was much more about relating to people as people, because I wasn't seen as a person for a very long time. Well, I don't know if people saw during my last HOH, I was counting M&Ms all week, and it was me and Monty, and I was like, Monty wins 6-3, Monty wins 8-1, Monty wins 5-4. I just did not feel like there was any chance, especially considering that I hadn't won HOH part 1 or 2. It was just, the whole day I practiced my speech, but I was ready to sit there for second place, even third place if Turner ended up winning. So I did not think my speech would resonate. Part of me thought that it might land as trying to guilt the jury into voting for me. But all I knew is that I had the truth, honesty, and some vulnerability, which was one of my biggest critiques from the beginning. So I knew if I could be those things, it just might land. And 8-1 was beyond anything I ever could have imagined from this jury. Well, Terrence was threatening me basically on his way out the door based on however the vote played out and how he would end up voting, called me a brat. Like, considering his relationship with Monty, I just knew there was no way that I would get Terrence's vote. And Indy, I mean, the girl was talking about throwing hot soup in my face and calling me a bitch all season. I was positive it was not happening. And when Indy put the key in, she said, I'm giving this to my favorite person. I said, all right, Monty, pat him on the back. So that's your vote, not mine. When it came to jury management, I always made it clear what my intentions and my goals were. I think the only jury management video or goodbye message that I sent that really gave any actual concrete details was to Alyssa. And I know she was very hurt by Turner's decision not to keep her in the house, but she needed to know more concrete facts, even though it was a very interesting vote that week. She needed to know more concrete facts about why he would have turned against her in the moment. But in those videos, I always wanted to make sure that people understood that I was not playing a game based solely on emotion, that I had a larger mission, and that any assumptions they might have about my game was much bigger and largely incorrect. You know how Nicole talks. First thing she said to me was, I love you, seriously. And she said, there's a lot out there. Because there's a lot out there. I said, what about you and me? She goes, there's a lot out there, just know that I love you. And I told her I love her too, because I do. And I'm not exactly willing to let go of that initial connection I had with her, where I felt like we could be long-lasting friends. I think the circumstances of the game might have brought out a different side or player in her. But what I know about Nicole is that she will always own her stuff. And as long as people can own up to whatever they've done or said and are willing to grow, then I'm willing to keep them in my lives. So I will see what actually happened with Nicole. And some of the house guests have told me some pretty hurtful things that were said early on, but time can heal a lot of things. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing if she and I can build a relationship. There were some pretty ugly moments. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to say the moment when Daniel yelled at me in the house, but I think it was less about him raising his voice at me and more the fact that I was being held accountable for someone's mental health journey. I was being held accountable for someone's sick mom, and trying to use these as game pieces when that was just the furthest thing ever from the truth. In fact, I was trying to express empathy and sympathy and hold space for these people. So knowing that there are people who could see me in a light that is completely opposite from anything I am, that's when I felt like I don't deserve to be in this game if I'm making other people feel this way. And luckily, Turner, truly, and whoever else influenced him in the decision outside of just the gameplay, they were able to take me and bring me into the leftovers and acknowledge that I'm not the person I was being painted as. But that was a very, very difficult moment. And, you know, depending on how I go and watch it all back, it'll maybe color some of the relationships I have in the house. But the lowest point was also the beginning of the highest point for me. I think what I'm going to do right now is watch all of the previously ons. So I'll just skip through, I'll watch like the first little recaps of everything on every episode. And then maybe I'll start doing my deep dive after a month. I know a lot of my friends and family and fans are gonna be asking me questions, and I don't wanna just say, I don't know, I only know my perspective. No, people have fully formed thoughts that I need to be prepared to answer for. So start with the previously on, and I'll take it from there. Okay, I need like a couple years. I need a handful of years. I know All-Stars just happened, and I know we need some space between that, so maybe All-Stars. But I'll have to wait and see if Michael is on that season, because that might color if I'm coming back or not. I'm trying to actually win comps. I played 9 vetoes and I didn't win a single one. I need Michael to not be around so I can win a veto, okay?